Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's a new day, and I say that because last night, you probably saw the post, I'm walking up to the garage, got the fancy lights going upstairs. Hey, it's gleaming down on a steel project. I'm thinking like, it's a 30-foot long truck, the front half is pretty much done. Now I've got the rear, well, 3/4, whatever the case, and it's waiting on me. It's waiting on me. So I figured, I was like, I just want to take a minute here and a two-part video. One, I want to thank you guys for following along, encouraging me to stay focused on it, and give them a little shout out. And I've got a few good followers that it's been good to us, guys. So thank you much for your support all along. So the thing that I wanted to mention to you, I'm thanking you because you've started with me building the truck. I diverted because the views weren't paying the bills. And at the end of the day, it's not building a truck either. So I was at a crossroads, like, what do I do? So I was like, you know what? I've always loved tools. I'd like to get into affiliate marketing. I saw an opportunity, I jumped in. So the things that I'm doing is to help, one, fund the bills, but also build the truck. So it's a two-part, I mean, it's crazy. Call me crazy. Life happens and you got to redirect. So that's where I'm at. So thank you for following along and staying patient with me. So with that in mind, I've got two things I want to mention. That I actually started another channel. It's Burks Unlimited, and that's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all the channels. But anyway, that right there allowed me to start separating that review page from the garage page. So you can find both channels, Burks Garage and Burks Unlimited, on either of those platforms. One's the tool reviews, and Burks Garage is going to be for building my truck. Now, some of them may cross over because of tool reviews and having fun. You guys might not find it comical whatsoever, but I'm having a good time with it. Hey, so thank you again. But where I'm at now is we're back on the truck. So just a quick recap, this was a 61 GMC 5000 sitting on a 20-foot frame. And I was like, you know what? If I put it on a motorhome chassis, it's lower, longer, slicker. You got different wheel options. You've got different braking. It's just the list kept going on and on. So I was like, all right, after 2 years, we're going to figure this out. So I started to swap, made it through, built cab mounts, built cab mounts, core support mount, transmission mount, cab mounts, front and rear, getting everything lined up on, hey, it was a lot. It was a lot, I tell you. But once I got the front end put back together, other than the plumbing and, some little details there, the biggest part, and the control arms, how to forget that. So the front end is pretty much done to the point that it's a roller again, if you get me. So that's where I jumped onto the rear side of it. So now here we are on the rear, that we had shit everywhere. There was angle iron on it, there was braces, there was gussets, there was damn plumbing, there was so much stuff on it. So I worked on it for a good month, just cutting, grinding, hey, I got burned out. I'll tell you right now, I got burned out. So life happened. It was 100 degrees, 115 inside the garage. And I was like, you know what? Put the brakes on. They don't even have brakes. That's what started the whole damn deal. Was damn no brakes on the 2-ton. Anyway, so where I'm at now is that I've got a couple things I want to do with you guys. I've got to clean this frame rail up. And of course, we can use a big fancy deep pocket laser or pull it outside with a sandblaster and break myself down trying to move it. No, I'm just going to use some damn consumables on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my time with it. It's not eating anything, sitting, waiting on us, So spend an hour or two here and there, just like a ladder, one rung at a time. So when it comes down to it, this right here is just cleaning. Just got to do some cleaning on it, getting the rest of the debris off of it, getting the paint off of it. And from this point right here, there's actually a liner on the inside, and that liner extends for 6 feet and stops right here where this cutout is. I'm not cutting the frame, so we've got to go back and box that in, put a plate in it. But where it's going to get funny and complicated, I've got some 3/16 plate over there, the same as a frame rail right here. And basically, we're going to take that plate and try to make a little horseshoe that mimics this inside liner here. So at that point, if everything works out as planned, paint it black, don't look back, right? Hey, we're going to extend that liner. We've got to pull the liner out, extend the liner to the length of the truck, so that way you've got a fully boxed, well, I'd say boxed, fully channel with the inside channel liner, and put some box plates on it, so that way it's stiff enough. And I'll probably come back and put a 2-inch thick bar, square tubing down it, just to stiffen it up for if I ever put a rollback on it or whatever life happens at that point. So, starting to digress. Hey, thank you much for following along and that transition. So today, as a quick quick part, what I want to do is talk to both of you here at Burke's Unlimited, Burke's Garage, and talk about some of the consumables that's going to get us started. So, come here. So we've got a few consumables set out here, and just to walk through, these are all for a 4.5-inch grinder. So most people have that in their tool shed. And so this right here being basically a paint stripper that locks in with your nut on the grinder, you got 3 different densities to it. And again, this is going to be for paint removal, maybe some light oxidation or some feathering of some welds, metal finishing. These right here are pretty nice for their intended purpose, but they're not going to actually be your full-on grinder, but they lock in to your 4.5. So then you can move into a cheaper flap disc, and the thing that you'll look at is how thick those bad boys are, or not bad boys. So in these right here, they're very inexpensive. I mean, you're probably $1 a piece or something. So you've got to understand that they do have their purpose in the toolbox, but when you're ready to move over to a better line and have something that's going to last, I know they're going to say all these B words and all these. That's okay too. I'm just giving you my honest opinion, just as all the other tool reviews that I've done on what my use is of these tools right here. So basically what you have is this Ozark 20-piece kit, this Zirconia Flap disc, and this is a T29 setup here. So in this 20-piece kit, you'll have a 40 grit, 60, 80, and 120. And when you break it down, you've got several of the 40s here, and that's where, again, you can tell they're a lot thicker material. And I've not used the 40s, but I have used, well, maybe just for a few minutes, but I've used mostly the 80 grit and in the 120. But when it comes down to it, these are pretty nice discs here. And again, this is a Zirconia disc. So the other thing that I use is the Ozark line for the 4.5-inch diamond cutoff wheels. And this is something, honestly, you can use it as cutting, grinding. They don't bend, they don't break. But hey, they say 5,000 cuts per blade. And when it comes down to it, I got a 5-pack. And I was like, you know what? I haven't used one yet. And again, probably haven't done 5,000 cuts, but it's still cutting just like I did when I first got it. So the thing that I'm pretty excited about is this bad boy right here. An 80 grit ceramic. It's ceramic. So this is something I have not used. I'm pretty excited about it. And honestly, when I opened it up and felt it, I was like, man, I'm blown away, because it actually has the twist lock on it. So you don't actually use the nut from this style here, and it's a ceramic coating. So the thickness is pretty thick. It might be just a little bit thicker than the Zirconia, but they're heavy. They're heavy. So a couple of PPE items, and there's a lot more that goes along with it. One, you need hearing protection. You need glasses. In many cases like this right here, you'd use a face shield. But I'm really starting to wonder if this face shield will do me less justice, because I can't see it. Hey, I was using this bad boy for sandblasting. Now you're expecting it to do this job? Hey, life happens, right? So we probably will not be using that. But the thing is, we will, I don't know, do we use gloves or not? That's the question of the video here. Do we use gloves or not on rotating equipment at 13,300 RPMs or something like that? Some crazy number. But hey, I'm not going to bore you today going through all this. I just want to take a minute and talk to you. And again, thank you for following along and understanding where my brain's been, where it's going, and looking into the future a little bit. But everything that I'm doing, guys, is an honest review. So if you feel that it's questionable or not, hey, bring it out in the comments and I'll be glad to talk about it. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got no reason to lie to you. If the stuff stinks, I'm not going to use it and I'm not going to promote it. I'm not gonna give you a bad name either. I'm just not going to use it or talk about it. That's the bottom line. I'm not gonna talk about it. So again, I wanna thank you much for the follow along, and we're gonna make progress on this. As you see, I got it opened up here, and these ceramic coated discs here, hey, we're about to make this happen. So thanks again for tuning in and following along, and appreciate your support, likes, comments, follows, all that good stuff. But hey, if you just wanna watch along, help me with a watch time more than 14 seconds or 5. I'm just kidding, guys. Hey, thank you. See you on the next one.